You have these like kind of crazy ideas that you've kind of brought up from time to time, and obviously like you've made a lot of them work, but how did you get the team to buy into you and not think you were just like crazy?
You know what's funny is like I don't hire, if that's the word. I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't hire. The people will just find me, and they'll try really hard to get to me. So that's kind of my philosophy. I've never actually I've never went for outbound. People just come to me.
Interesting.
So that's how it works. Like Steven found me, Jeffrey found me.
How did they find you? Was it all through Twitter?
They were either users of Buildspace or through Twitter or through like emails. Like they just knew of what I was up to. Because I'm very public about the journey as well, right?
How do people find Buildspace for the most part, outside of just you and Twitter or like your own Twitter?
Word of mouth. Word of mouth is huge for me. Like people will just always say, "Have you heard about that Farza guy or that Buildspace thing?" And that helps so much. Yeah.
Is that the secret to the team dynamic? Because like everybody just seems so focused on a central goal.
Yeah.
And they're all just working together. Like the sense I get is like everyone's just so locked in.
Yeah, the team culture is very much like facilitated by me.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, you have just people that are high ambition, you know, not assholes. Like that helps. It's level one. But then I think the biggest, I don't know how to quite say it, but I'm a really good judge of people I want to be around, right? So I can immediately talk to someone for even just 2 minutes and be like, do you want to be with this person for another 2 days?
Who do you want to be around? Like, what are those qualities you look for?
I just have a conversation with them. That's the most straightforward thing. Like, you know, a lot of times I get an interview and they'll just be like trying to tell me about their skill set. I was like, dude, chill out. Like, we just met. Like, I don't care that you code in Python or whatever. Just, what's your name?
That's right. I don't
like,
know
where did you grow up? Like, you didn't ask me anything. Like,
Yeah.
let's talk about something else, you know, like, and just have a conversation. I remember my first conversation with every teammate that I hired today. And it was very much like memorable because I just love talking to them.
What was your first conversation with Steven?
Steven was a funny one. Steven was literally, he was like, so what are you looking for?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm looking for a designer. He said, what's design?
Ooh.
And I asked, and I defined design for him. He didn't like my definition.
How did you define it?
I forgot what I said, but he didn't like it.
Okay.
And then he said, let me teach you what design is. Dude, he pops out a whiteboard for 10 minutes. He starts explaining what design is.
What did he say?
He just starts drawing a board about like how design is not only how something looks, it's the messaging. It's everything about it, you know?
He showed us, me and Eric, how he designed the houses.
Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
The 4 houses, and then when he showed it to you,
It's crazy.
and it was mind blowing. Like the process.
How did he
we went
design it?
through. Like, I don't know the specs, but
Oh,
I'm saying,
what did he show
how
you?
he thought through it?
Yeah.
Basically, why the 4 houses look like this and like the central design. I mean, can we see it? I
We
don't
can
know
pop
if
them up.
if we can see any of it.
Yeah,
But
I mean the designs of them are insane in itself, but I mean the core thing to understand about Stevan is like when I met the guy, he was teaching me. He didn't feel like I was above him.
Yeah.
We were same level. He was sitting there like you're wrong. Like I think I know something that you don't. And then he was probably trying to see how I reacted to new information. Like did I have an ego? Right? Was I able to absorb the information that he was telling me? And it's like I was like that's pretty cool, man. Let's talk more.
And so how did you convince them to stay with you through all these pivots? Because Buildspace went through something like 10 or 15 pivots to get to this point.
Yeah, it's a long journey from the Zip homeschool days to here. But I think the biggest thing is I always gave everybody the ability to change their future. I remember with Buildspace, like a year ago, I didn't know what to do next. So I literally said, okay, everyone, stop everything you're doing for a week. You're making a pitch deck for a week. And for a week, everybody, like it was like 9 people, just went and made a pitch deck for the next thing that we work on. And it was beautiful. Like everybody came together with vastly different ideas. I took all their ideas and I made a new path for us.
What were some of the ideas that actually made it through?
One of my favorites was Stevan essentially. Stevan saying like, we are a telescope to find the best builders in the world. Like this, it's usually like not ideas, but it's like words, phrases.
Yeah.
And Stevan laid out this path of like how nights and weekends could scale potentially. And I like that idea. So that's part of it. That's like part of the idea that I took. But again, it's like, I'm not the founder that tells people what to do. I don't really have a vision. In fact, you come into Monday, you tell me what to do usually. That's always my philosophy. I never show up on a Monday and have a list for people. We don't have like a task management board. Like we don't have anything. Like you show up, you in a sentence tell me what you're doing. If you can't, go meditate or something, go on a run. I don't know, but you got to figure something out.
No way.
And like, that's how I run the company. It's very much like you tell us what you're doing. And if it's shit, we will tell you. And very often I'll say something, Jeffrey's like, waste of time. I'm like, oh, why, Jeff?
Yo, you and Jeff have the most interesting dynamic.
What do you
That's
mean?
funny.
Well, they like disagree on so many things.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to see how it all comes together.
Yeah, no, I think it's like you have to, as a founder guy, founder whatever, like you need to like create an open space for like this stuff to happen. And I think a lot of founder types will just like control. And I have very little control. I have only trust. But at the end of the day, it is my decision, and everybody knows that. And it is my job to gather all these crazy things and put them in like one road. But that I can do.